Hello everyone, my name is Miles at Miles of Color everywhere online, and welcome to episode number 3 of Behind the Edit. If you have not watched one of these videos before, basically I'm just walking you through my Photoshop file of how I made this picture turn into this picture. Today's model is at Little Bit of Wisdom, my friend Gabby, actually my roommate as well, and she's an amazing model. Please follow her on Instagram, as well as myself at Miles of Color on Instagram to see more photos and just to see what I'm up to and what's going on. And let's just hop right into Photoshop and we're gonna walk through this edit. Okay, so here is the before image of Gabby, and this was taken in Glamis, California on some sand dunes, and this is straight out of camera, and I don't have the actual file in my Lightroom, so we're just gonna kind of jump a step here, but this is what we got after editing in Lightroom. Basically all I did was just lift up some shadows and boost my exposure a little bit, and then change the colors a little bit in camera calibration, just messing with my blues and my greens a little bit. Okay, so I just boosted things a little bit, but nothing significant changed, so don't worry about missing that part. I promise way more exciting stuff happens. So my first layer here, and okay, my Photoshop is so messy, but I tried to clean it up before we did this video, and let's just hop in here to the under. So I didn't like the sky that much. It was kind of lacking. It was kind of anticlimactic. It just wasn't that cool. So after I did a little bit of cleanup down here at her feet, check it out, boom, boom, which just kind of made it a bit more surreal that she was just out here in the dunes. It looks like she was standing in this spot for hours just waiting for you to like show up or something, you know? And then here is the sky, which I just love the sunset. I got it, I believe, on unsplash.com, which I mention in every single video, I feel like, at this point. It's a free photography stock website, and you can use whatever images there you like. And this image was taken by Luca Dugaro, I believe is how you say it. And I just masked out the sunset so it wouldn't peek over the mountains here with this layer. You can see where I painted or where I selected. And yeah, so that's the base image that we're working with right here. Already looking pretty good. And so I don't know if you guys have been on like Pinterest at all, if you've seen these photos, or even on Instagram, where there's like this floating square, like this kind of LED sign basically. I wanted this to be the edit. I wanted to use this somehow and have this square just like glowing and just there behind her, or rectangle, I guess. It just didn't work out. I couldn't get it to work out. That's why the image took the direction that it did. So next, after I tried to mess with that square for a while, it just didn't work out. I was like, okay, screw it, let's just dodge and burn. So here's my burning, which is enhancing the shadows of the image. I painted a little bit on her, and just to, like, you know, add some punch to the shadows. And then I went across the dunes right here just because I felt like it needed just like, it was kind of flat. It just felt pretty flat to me and no dimension. I feel like the shadows or the burning added some dimension there. And then here's my highlights. Wait, here's my highlights. There they are. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. You can kind of see the before and after. So I'm basically just enhancing the lighting on Gabby, because you'll see in a little bit we're gonna add like a huge light behind her, and I just needed her to be a little bit more punchy. You know, I wanted her to stand out, especially since we have this sky here kind of distracting from her already. And here is the next step. So instead of a rectangle, I went with a circle. There it is. I blurred it a little bit once I designed it. I just made it using this tool here, the Ellipse tool. You can get there by clicking U, and I didn't use a fill, I used a stroke. And yeah, I made it blue. Eventually I'm gonna turn it into a different color, but blue felt right at first because I try to stick to a blue theme on my page. And then I wanted to add some body highlights, because I added some outer glow to this because I wanted to look like it was a neon sign basically. So I added a blue outer glow, and then I added this like little bit of highlight to her body because the light's gonna be shining from this way and from this way. So I added some blue coloring right here just to make her pop a little bit. Let's see, I think I added some to the ground too. Yep, just a little bit, because that's how light would act in the real world, right? Like, I know it's a surreal image, but we want to pretend like we're editing something that was straight out of camera. And then I added this clipping layer, which is a hue saturation, and it's basically just going to change all of the color that we just did right there on the circle to orange. And that's just because it wasn't working out for me. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I also wanted to use fire, and fire isn't blue, it's red. So I took this photo off of Unsplash, which is basically still wool, and it is being spun around, and it's like this kind of like fire ring, you'll see. Let me unmute some stuff. So I did a bit more enhancing of the highlights around her for the sake of realism, and we added some sparks in here just to see what was gonna happen. And then I added a little bit of coloring over it. and boom, there is the steel wool just like running around. It's something that I think really livened up the image. Like, yeah, it just adds movement and it adds excitement. It's a bit more easy to consume than just the circle by itself. I think it's kind of wild looking, you know? It looks like something's moving. It looks like something's happening. It looks like she's like charging up like her superpowers or something, like she's Wonder Woman or something. I don't know. I don't know where the idea came from. I don't know why I did it, but I did it and it felt right. Then I tried to add some glow here to the ground. I think I took it out in my actual image, but we're just gonna leave it there for the sake of showing you the process. And that's because the whole time I was trying to act like these were real lights around her, and light bounces off of things. So I was trying to make it bounce off the ground right here and bounce off of her body and highlight it. And then of course the colors were a little funky, so I tried to fix it in this last and final layer. If you guys watched the first 2 episodes, you know that I like to mess around with exposure and coloring. That's what I call this file, and I usually have, you know, the constant characters here are selective color, saturation, vibrance, curves, exposure, color balance, and color lookup. But I also added in a little bit of brightness, contrast here, and I masked it. Let's see what we did. Okay, so I darkened up the whole image except for Gabby. So you can see where I drew here. It's just Gabby that was selected. And then here is my selective color. Oh, I hardly did anything, it looks like. I'm gonna hop in here and just like check out. Did we even do any? Oh my god, we didn't do anything. Okay, that's like a first for me, guys. So I didn't do anything to this one. And here is our hue saturation. I wanted to match her skin tone more with the light around here, Here's our vibrance. We just added a little bit, I believe. Yeah, 24 vibrance. And right here, I'm gonna make Gabby pop out just a little bit more. Boom. Look at that. I know the coloring's looking very strange. I promise it's gonna get better. Let's see what we did here. I brightened up the sky, just you can see where I painted. So I took out everything down here, even Gabby herself, and then I just wanted to brighten up the sky just to make it pop a bit more. Here are the settings that I did. It just boosted my highlights like crazy because I wanted that sunset to be wild and out of this world, basically. And then here is our exposure. Now I made the whole image pop even more, if that was possible, but it's popping now. Here's my color balance. Looks like I use it very, very slightly. And then here's the color lookup. Boom, see, now she's looking more natural. Kind of like a pink skin tone, a red skin tone. I love using this color lookup, guys, and I highly recommend it. I have the opacity at 58%. I have it set to blend on color. And then the color lookup I'm using, which, check it out, you go to your adjustments right here. Here is the adjustment, color lookup. And I always use 2-strip, which is right here. And I just love the look of it. It looks so damn good. And guys, that's the entirety of the image right there. Okay, so here's the before and after. Boom, boom, so good. Here's the post on Instagram. It's a little bit more grainy, if you can see. I added some grain in Lightroom on my phone, and then did a bit more of highlighting here on my phone in Lightroom as well. And that was the final image. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to follow me on Instagram at Miles of Color, as well as on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, anything. I live edit on Twitch, or I'm going to be soon. Also, please remember to follow Gabby at Little Bit of Wisdom. I'll link her down below. And if you have any questions about editing or how I did this image, please leave them in the comment section down below. Let me know how I can make this series a bit more interesting for you. If it's a little too boring, I don't know. I'm kind of just winging it right now, but I'm having fun making these videos, and I hope you like them too. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.